Welcome. In front of me is an INFINIX Zero 30. And today I'll go over unboxing along with a quick look at the device itself. Okay, so let's just pop it open. I'm gonna quickly just make sure that I have the correct info open on my computer. As there is a 030 and 030 5G, and I'm not sure if this is the same one, so I just want to make sure that I will be saying the correct info. So this looks to be okay. Dimensity, yep, that looks to be fine. Okay, so let's get into it. Whoa. There we go. Now this is, by the looks of it, a little bit more premium device from INFINIX. So let's actually quickly check the price while I'm unboxing this. So that is about, so it actually shows up, about 260 euros, something along those lines. It also close enough in dollars, about the same price, about 250, 260, something along those lines. Now inside of the box, we obviously got the phone itself. We get the case, silicone one, and a charger, and not a slouch charger. This is a 68-watt charger, though I'm not sure why they flipped M upside down. This looks like a letter M rather than a W, but whatever. Then we get our cable, a Type-C to Type-A charging cable, and a headphones with a Type-C plug. So by that you can probably guess we don't have a headphone jack. Okay, moving on to the phone itself. Interesting design. Okay, so putting it up, you'll be able to see our curved display. And that being said, this is a 6.7-inch display running a 1080p resolution of 1080 by 2400 AMOLED display, 1 billion colors, 144 Hz refresh rate, and a peak brightness of just shy of 1000 nits, being at 950. Also has a 90% screen-to-body ratio with 388 pixels per inch. Now that being said, the screen-to-body ratio seems to be a little bit skewed because they do have curved display, and I think they just wanted to get to past that sub, 1000, past that sub 90%. But let me show you how actual 90% looks like when it's a flat display. Let's actually unlock it, open up something like settings. So this are the bezels of a device that has 90.1% screen-to-body ratio. And you can see that the bezels right here look significantly thicker over this one. So they are doing some kind of scammy trickery to kind of get past that with the curved display, because I believe it is calculated a little bit differently when you have a display that curves around. But in any case, don't get me wrong, this display is still fantastic. It is an AMOLED display, so it's going to have amazing colors and contrast ratios. And I personally do like curved displays just because using gesture navigation is much nicer when you have to swipe from the side. So it's just personal preference. Anyway, continuing onto the cameras at the back, we have what looks to be a triple camera setup, though probably not all of them will be worth mentioning. So the main sensor is a whopping 108 megapixel wide sensor with optical image stabilization. Then we get a 13 megapixel ultra wide, and like I said, 2 megapixel heck knows what, because they didn't even bother mentioning it, as it is a sticker camera. It's here just to fill out the quota of 3-camera phone, and that's about it. While we're at the back, you can also kind of see the design right here. This looks like a vegan leather or whatever they're calling it. Let's see. It's not really specified what it is. No, it is eco leather back. So this is what I guess eco leather, and we have a Rome green, gold hour, or fantasy purple. These names, can't you just call it green, yellow, or purple. Whatever. In any case, I believe all of those different colors will be all with eco leather. Now moving on to the frame, this is a plastic frame unfortunately, so the device won't be as rigid. If you want to do a bend test, it probably won't survive it. And continuing on into the internals, we have a Dimensity 8020 in here, so a pretty powerful processor. Then we got also 5000 mAh battery, which goes very well with the 68 watt charger, meaning that you can charge your device to 80% in about 30 minutes. At least that's what they're advertising. Additionally, we have a couple of versions of this device. So it comes with, if I can find this pack, where is it? Why can't I see it? Looking for the, oh, there we go, found it. So the base model comes with 256 gigabytes of storage and 8 gigabytes of RAM. And you can also get it to 256 gigs with 12 gigs of RAM. Both versions running on UFS 3.1 storage type. Now, that being said, probably on the box you did some keen eyes probably seen that it says 21 gigabytes of RAM, basically. And that's typical of Infinix, just scamming people with this kind of garbage. And the reason I'm just pointing that out, there's no reason to do this. The device doesn't benefit from having 21 freaking gigabytes of RAM, and that being said, this device doesn't even have 21 gigabytes of RAM. It has only, it has 12, which is substantial amount to do anything that you will need. This device isn't big enough, as in like folding devices, to be able to run 4 apps simultaneously. Therefore, it will never need this much RAM. Yet they decide to kind of scam you with the 9 gig additional RAM. And the reason I hate this, because this is just absolute, just shit malpractice, to scam people that don't know better. Let me explain for people that don't know better. For the people that do, you can skip past it. But the 12 gigabytes of RAM is an actual RAM storage. RAM stands for an actual storage that it classifies as such. The 9 gigabytes next to it, that is supposedly RAM, is not RAM. It's an, in this case, UFS 3.1 storage. Therefore, it is not RAM. And the reason this bugs me so much is because this kind of storage, the UFS 3.1, will be significantly inferior over anything, even the lousiest RAM storage that you can possibly think of. And classifying your storage as RAM is misleading and just a blatant freaking lie. You will never get as good of a performance from this kind of storage. And most devices allow you to disable this, but what should be an option for you to be able to enable it instead of disabling it, shouldn't be advertised on the box as a lie. And that's what I have the biggest problem with here. So you do have 12 gigs of RAM and 9 gigs of storage that you can use as RAM, and storage will not be significantly or anywhere near the speed of the actual like RAM storage. And just to also add a little bit of context, RAM is used for stupidly fast read and writes onto it for application caches and things like that. So if you open up an application and you close it, that application will have its data stored in RAM. Just because if you go back to that application, it will instantly open back up, as long as there is enough RAM to keep it open. Now, when it comes down to storage, like the 9 gigs of here that they claim, when you would basically be using that for that stored as RAM, you might as well just close that freaking application, because it's going to be the same speed for you to open it up as a brand new application as it will take you from RAM, or from, well, storage RAM kind of thing. So yeah. Okay, now that I kind of got through this, let's move on. I did talk about the cameras, I did talk about the build quality, and most of the actual parts of it. What I didn't mention is that the device runs device runs with Android 13 with a skin, as Infinix does have their own skin, called XOS 13. And this device was released in September 1st of 2023. There's a chance that this device, I believe, should get an update to Android 14, as that's basically what we are at right now. And usually devices do have support for, well, manufacturers support their devices for about like 2 years. At least that's what there should be, supporting it, I believe, in European Union. So This device should be getting an update to Android 14, though on the page I don't see any kind of info like that, so take that with a grain of salt that INFINIX just might completely ignore this device, and once it's released, that's basically all you have, with maybe just occasional security patches. I don't know, I never really used an INFINIX device in my life, so like I said, keep that with a grain of salt. And with that being said, this basically concludes the device. Now, like I said before, this is a device that comes at about $250 or exactly almost 400 rupees. So I'll be referring to it in dollars just because that's a more common exchange for me. So for about 250 bucks, comparing it to other devices, it comes with really good specs, I would say. The Dimensity 8020 won't be a slouch. The fact that this device will come with at least 8 GB at the very start is already a pretty good thing. Additionally, the AMOLED display with 144 Hz refresh rate here is additional benefits. So the device right here has a really good overall package for a decent price, I would say. So yeah. Now that being said, this concludes the overview of this device, so if you found it helpful, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and thanks for watching.